How to get so shredded it feels illegal. I'm talking about getting below 10% body fat, getting to a single digit body fat to the point it feels unreal. Like you're gonna look at your abs, people will look at you and they will be like, how is that even possible to be that shredded, that ripped? So today I'm going to break this down for you. How to actually do it, the best way to do it, so you can actually get so shredded it feels illegal. Everyone wants abs, everyone wants veins popping out, but the truth is 99% of guys, they never get truly shredded. Why? Because they don't understand the exact system it takes to go beyond lean, to go into shredded. So here is the system. To lose weight, lose body fat, you either add more cardio to your daily, weekly routine. You just start doing more cardio than you were doing before. Or you do it with your diet. You completely change your diet. You start eating less calories than you were eating before. Now, if you just add more cardio, it might not be enough. That's why I'm saying all the time, diet is more important. Obviously, cardio is super important. You have to be doing cardio regardless of your goals. Cardio is a must for your heart health. But with the right diet, you will always get the results. You will always lose this fat, you know. With cardio, the problem is you might need to add a shit ton of cardio if your diet is really fucked up. You know, so if you are eating so many calories that, you know, like cardio a couple times a week or 30 minutes or even 1 hour is not enough to burn all these calories off and keep you on a deficit, then it's not gonna be enough. However, with diet, it's like more secure, you know, it's like more, you can be more sure that you will get the results and progress with your weight loss. Because at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. You start consuming less calories than you burn overall, like doing nothing, then and training, then you will, you know, lose weight eventually. You will get more shredded. But here is the kicker. If you want to get really shredded, like we are talking in this video, illegally shredded, like so shredded it feels illegal, unreal, below 10% body fat, you want to do both cardio and diet. Because for most people, it's gonna be really hard to do it just with the diet or just with the cardio. Because think of it, if you know, say, oh, fuck this diet, I would just eat as I'm eating, I would just add more cardio. Then you have to add, like you might have to add a lot of cardio. And that might be overwhelming, that might be something like not sustainable for you, something that you can't keep up with, and that won't keep you on a deficit long term. You might be 1 day or 2 days on a deficit, then you get tired, unmotivated, you know, you just say, fuck this cardio, let me chill today. Another 4 or 5 days, you are on the surplus again, and it's just not working, right? On the other hand, if you just say, fuck this cardio, I'm not gonna do any cardio, I would just do it with my diet, right? You get on a deficit, you start eating way less calories, you basically starve yourself, then it might not be sustainable either. Because first, you might get so low on your calorie intake, like daily calorie intake, that yeah, you might just crash out and just say, fuck it, or just cheat on your diet, you know, because you won't be able to basically sustain it. And second, imagine being on the same diet, you eat the same amount of calories, but on top of that, you add more cardio, and you do cardio, and you burn additionally even more. So your deficit is higher right now. You are in a bigger deficit. So you're gonna lose more fat. Because what will happen is the diet will be easier, because you do more cardio. So the more cardio you do, the more calories you can eat and still be on a deficit. The more calories you can eat and be on a bigger deficit, the more cardio you do, because you burn more calories. Your total expenditure throughout the day is higher. So that's also something that will be more sustainable, over the weeks, and that will get you to like really beyond this 10% body fat, just lower than 10%. Because the thing is, the longer you are on a deficit, or the bigger the deficit is, the more shred you will get. That's why pro bodybuilders do both when they are in prep before the show. They get ripped super fast, but the only way to do it is basically to do both. They do cardio, more cardio. They do like 1 hour of cardio a day, typically like before lifting, like in the morning, and then they also cut the calories super aggressively. I'm not saying you have to go as hard as them. Like, that's not what I mean. You don't have to like be so strict as them to get like super shredded. But the point is, the key to getting like super ripped and then also staying super ripped, super shredded like year round, is to actually pay attention to both. Like do both at the same time. Like add more cardio and track your food, and keep the calories on point, keep them lower. Let's talk about just the diet for a moment. Here is a shredded meal plan strategy that you want to apply when you are trying to get shredded. You want to eat high protein and low calorie meals. And the reason why you want to keep your protein high all the time is because you want to keep and build as much muscle as possible during that process of losing fat, getting shredded. But also, protein keeps you full, so it will be easier to stick to these low calorie meals and keep the calories low overall when your protein intake is high. You want to eat volume foods to also make it easier and stay full on low calories. Eat a lot of salads, veggies, fruits, potatoes, rice. These are high volume foods. If it's helpful for you, practice intermittent fasting. For me, it's very helpful because I'm a big eater. I like to eat a big meal at once. I don't like eating like a bunch of small meals. So whenever I cut calories way lower than usually, then I just eat, one big breakfast, and I fast all day, like 8-10 hours or even a bit more, and then I eat like last 2 big meals, and that keeps me on a low calorie diet, though my calories are low for the day. Drink a lot of water, black coffee, 0 calorie drinks. My favorite is Coke Zero, all to blunt hunger. Now, what about the cardio? You don't have to do shit ton of cardio. You can start slowly, maybe 3 times a week, moderate intensity on some cardio machine, or you can go for a run, you can go on a bike ride outside if you prefer to, just to burn around 300 calories on each session, and then you gradually increase. You either increase the time on each session you do like 3 times a week, or you add additional day of cardio, like additional session, like so you go from 3 times to 4 times a week, then you go to 5 times a week, then you increase a little bit the time on each session and you do it more frequently, so you start getting more and more ripped. But obviously it will depend on each person. It's not like, oh, you have to increase like in 2 or 3 weeks to like 10 minutes more, or just do 4 times a week instead of 3-5 times. It will really depend on how dialed in you are with your diet, how much muscle mass you have as well, how hard also you train in the gym, how many steps you get in. Like it will all depend on different factors. You might not need more cardio, you might need it. It all will depend. For me, for example, it was super helpful to add more cardio every week because I just didn't want to lower my calories. I just wanted to keep my diet as it was, eating this amount of calories, and I didn't want to go below that. But if you are more okay with lowering your calories and keeping your cardio shorter, like doing less cardio, then it's still okay. You will still be getting more shredded. And also, let's talk about weightlifting if we already touched on it. Obviously, you're not gonna burn as many calories lifting weights as on cardio. That will never happen. Cardio is the king of burning calories, and the more calories you burn, the more ripped you get. So calories is the most important type of training when it comes to getting shredded and staying shredded. However, lifting weights is also important because you want to build keep and build as much muscle as possible during that process. So if you lift weights well, so you have a good workout routine and you train hard enough, you will keep and even build more muscle that will also help you with your testosterone levels, with your metabolism, which will also play a big role in getting more shredded more easily. Plus, you will burn some additional couple hundred calories on each session. And if you don't know exactly how to do this, how to train the right way to build as much muscle as possible, go check out my previous video, how to build so much muscle it feels illegal, and you will know. Now, we have to also talk about sleep. Sleep and recovery. Sleep is so important with getting shredded. You have to get at least 7 hours per night because it affects largely your testosterone, your fat burning hormones. You're not gonna get so shredded if you sleep like 4 hours. Your hormones will be all over the place. You will store more body fat. You will have no energy to do cardio, to train. Your ghrelin will be higher, so your hunger hormones will be higher, so you will be just more hungry. It will be harder to train, harder to do cardio, harder to stick to the diet. Everything will be harder. Don't eat too much before bed. Don't take caffeine too late. Eliminate blue light, so don't watch TV, don't look at any screens like your computer, your phone. Don't look at all this like at least 30-45 minutes before going to bed. Take melatonin short term if you need to readjust your sleep schedule so you can fall asleep faster. You do these things for long enough, you stay on point with all these things we talked about, your diet, cardio, weightlifting sessions, your recovery, and you get shredded. When you hit plateau, if you hit plateau at some point, you got leaner, for example, maybe you are at 12% body fat, you want to go beyond that, obviously, then you just adjust. You either add more cardio or cut more calories from your diet, or if your body is really stubborn and you need to do both, then just do both. You just go harder. And that's it, guys. This is how you get so shredded it feels illegal. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.